Stay tuned for the Joan Quinn Profiles. Joan served the state of California as a member on the Arts Council and on the Film Commission. She was formerly on the Architectural Commission and fulfilled 2 terms on the Fine Arts Commission for the city of Beverly Hills. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview magazine, Condé Nast Publications, and the Hearst Corporation, Joan covered the world of fashion, the mysteries of food, the excitement of theater, and the international art scene. She continues to find people who are on the cutting edge of their professions. Here's Joan Agajanian Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. We're taping here in West Hollywood, and our guests are singer, actress Erin Carere and artist Donnie Molls. Award-winning playwright, actress, singer, comedian, and radio host Erin Carere studied at the Manhattan School of Music and with Gary Busby at UCI. She's performed stand-up locally and toured the United States and Europe as a singer and songwriter, and with her one-woman cabaret show. I keep talking about you right here. And that one show was called The One.
Yes.
That act is given way to another series called Stand Opera.
You got it.
Tell me, did you always want to be a singer?
Always. Oh my God. Oh, before I even understood what it was, they have stories.
Before you reached
My mom tells stories about me standing at the top of the stairs as a little one, giving performances to everybody in nonsense, you know.
So that's why you have so many multi-hyphenates. I mean, I have had a lot of multi-hyphenates on here, but I think you topped it. So you've been singing all your life, let's say.
Yes.
And did you take a lot of singing lessons?
Well, I did. I started singing in church. My parents had started a church, and I sang every week in church.
That's very interesting, because a lot of singers start that way.
Yeah, a lot.
In the chorus or...
Yep. I was in the choirs, and I was also a song leader by the time I was in high school. Although...
Where was that?
That was in Minnesota.
Oh, you're from Minnesota.
Yes, you can tell by the accent. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have an accent.
You don't have
I don't know.
So it did start in Minnesota. You were born and raised there?
Yeah, born on the banks of the Mississippi River.
Oh, that's so nice. And was there any music in your family?
Yes. Lots. Everyone we're from a long-standing ELCA, which is the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America, family full of musicians. My aunt was a concert pianist. My mother played piano. Everyone sang in choir or something along those lines.
So were you all singing in the house too?
Oh yeah, and to date we still sing Grace.
Besides the 3-year-old standing at the top of the steps, you were all singing?
We all were singing. Maybe not my dad. My dad only sings one song, which is Old Man River.
Where actually then did your opera career start?
Well, when I was singing in a choir at my church, the choir director approached me after rehearsal one day and said, you have quite a voice in there. And I said, thank you, right? Well, I was very little and tiny at the time. And she said, do you want to learn how to really sing? And I said, yes. I was dying, I was dying to learn how to really sing. And so she started giving me voice lessons. And one day, this huge voice, after she trained me a little bit,
she did?
This huge voice popped out of me, and I started singing opera in competitions.
So she knew what to do. Mm-hmm. Did you ever go on stage? Did you ever sing?
Oh, yes.
You did?
Oh,
you sang opera professionally?
Oh, yes. The last opera that I was in was about 2012, just because I then focused on a recording career doing classical pop crossover music, sort of like Andrea Bocelli or Josh Groban. But yeah, I've sung in quite a few Broadway, musicals as well as opera.
A musical on Broadway too?
Yeah, no, only off Broadway.
But off Broadway
But I've
musicals?
sung, many musicals.
Really?
Yeah, as well as my band and the cabaret, and yeah, I'll sing anywhere they'll let me.
I don't know that you have time, because you're like traveling and doing your show. The One, what was that about?
So The One came about because I was doing stand-up comedy at the time, and I had finished I had been signed to a label, and I was done, and I was sort of looking for something to do. And I was also miserable about my love life. And I would tell people, I know, right?
Okay, let's get,
So,
I'm going to go to the next one when you finish that.
All right. I would tell people heartfelt, like completely honestly and vulnerable about my horrible love stories, and they would laugh and laugh and laugh. I know, I realized, oh my God, my love life is hilarious. So I wrote a cabaret about it.
I have a play. I have an act.
Yep.
But you said you got a lot of letters when you did this TV, Sex Sent Me to the ER.
Yeah.
Was that about your love life?
No, I make a joke about it because it's like, here I've trained at some of the more prestigious institutes in our country. I've sung some of the more higher level music a person could sing.
Know.
And then, but the most attention I've gotten from the general public and people who know me and like people from high school are when I was on a reenactment show called Sex Sent Me to the ER, and I played a very famous politician's wife having a problem.
Having lots of sex?
Well,
Having lots of affairs?
No, her husband had a problem.
Oh, her husband did.
And so if you were to see the episode, if you won't, I'll catch you up on it. Basically, her husband had a problem because he had a sex sent him to the ER, but they were trying to keep it under wraps because it's based on these very famous politicians who were trying to keep it from the general public that perhaps they were in the ER for I don't know, some sort of dubious reason that the public shouldn't know about. Yeah.
So that was on TV.
That was on TV. Yeah.
That was on TV.
Yeah.
But you've also performed at South by Southwest,
Yes.
which is kind of a hip kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, it is
It's
kind
so
of a
far
hip kind of
from
thing.
opera, isn't it?
I know. Well, because I moved here to Los Angeles as a songwriter, and I was signed to an indie label. And I started touring as a singer-songwriter. And the year that my album, Poet's Lovely Daughter, came out, I played South by Southwest that year. So.
Was it great?
It was
awesome.
awesome.
Was it fun?
was awesome.
Okay, one other thing that you did. You produced an award-winning short. Cake?
Yes, Cake. Yes.
You're
No connection
like-
to the Jennifer Aniston movie whatsoever.
That,
even
because
though
I
look
saw
like her.
that movie. I saw that
Yeah.
Cake. That's what I was wondering.
Right.
Yours came first, I think.
Mine came, first, sure. And it's a comedy.
Oh.
It's
And
about.
how long is it?
It's 3 minutes and 43 seconds. I mean,
That's
it's a
all?
short. Yes.
Wow, it is a short.
very short.
So how did you write the story? What is it?
Well, I didn't write it. It was written by a woman named Eva Constantopoulos. Sorry, Eva.
Constantopoulos.
Yes, thank you.
Constantopoulos.
And
Yeah.
she was she wrote this amazing script about a singer who breaks into a house and steals a cake. And then the owner of the house shows up, and then you learn that the cake is something that the owner of the house baked for her boyfriend, who the singer is also
Is that
dating.
you, the singer?
Yes. And so then I poisoned the cake, and then together we decide to take our revenge on the man.
Oh boy, we have a lot of poor men
Well,
who are like, really?
well, he was kind of two-timing, not just the two of us. I mean, in the context of the story.
Does the poor guy come into focus in stand opera?
That particular guy, no. Although actually,
Does any guy?
actually, I have
Yes.
a breakup theory of music, and I do highlight 3 different breakups.
You do?
I do. Well, if you were to
Okay, let's talk about it because
Okay, great.
this is the newest thing.
This is the
Hollywood
thing.
Fringe,
This
which
is the
is
deal.
great.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's incredible.
It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
And we had so many talented people on this show from the Hollywood Fringe, including you. So tell us, Erin,
Yes.
you're holding a pink donut.
Yes.
How did actually stand opera happen?
Okay.
What happened?
So I joined a new acting studio with a wonderful teacher named Jocelyn Jones. And she was looking at my resume, and she said, "So you sing opera?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And she said, "But you're a stand-up comedian." And I said, "Yes, I am." And she goes, "So you do opera and stand-up?" And I said, "Yeah, of course."
It's so different.
I know. And she goes, "I want you to do something involving stand-up and opera." And I was like, oh my God, what on earth is funny about opera? But then I realized everything is funny about opera. So I came up with a little, some bits about being an opera singer, and then I sing an aria as part of.
You do sing an aria?
Yes, I do sing an aria.
What kind of music do you have then?
Well, in this show, because I've run the gamut as a singer, you do get a few snippets of my time as a pop singer, as a songwriter.
Do you sing it all live?
Yes.
Are you live
I'll
singing?
be singing live. And then I'll be singing an aria, a Puccini aria. As I don't want to give away the grand finale, but I will be singing a Puccini aria.
That's a finale?
Yeah.
Oh, we have to stay till the end?
Yes, you have to stay till the end.
We can't hear part of it now.
No.
Ooh, can't hear. So who's directing you?
It's directed by a woman named Nell Tier, and she's wonderful. I met her in that same acting class.
Oh.
She also directed a musical I was in where I played John Lennon's first wife, Cynthia Lennon, in a brand new musical last year that she did. She's also an award-winning musical theater actress herself, a singer, a director.
Oh, she
She's
is.
great.
So she knows how to direct from a musical point.
Yes.
Which is kind of different, right?
Yes.
Than regular
It is different.
drama, because they have to know what to do with you.
That's true. Well, in general, that's always a
But then
question.
did you write the whole thing?
I did. I wrote the whole
Tell
thing.
us a little bit. You use multimedia.
Yep. So it's a multimedia show.
What is it? Multimedia.
There's actually a big movie screen behind me the entire show.
Yeah.
So while I'm delivering, some of it is stand-up, some of it is story, some of it is cabaret-style singing, and an aria. While I'm performing, there's a video going constantly behind me during which you get to peek inside my head and see what's either really going on and or what I'm thinking and talking about.
While you're talking?
While I'm talking.
So it contradicts what you're saying?
Well, sometimes it contradicts and sometimes it better informs.
Is it more honest? And you're the phony standing in front?
They're both honest in different ways, because if you think about it, some things happen and your perspective changes. So your perspective at the moment when you're, say, 17 years old and you're in love with your English teacher is very different than your perspective when you're, say, 30 and no longer in love with your English teacher.
Right. And what's on the screen at that time?
At the screen, you'll get to see the English teacher in the moment.
You'll get to see the English teacher?
Well, not the real English
But
teacher.
I mean, you get to
an
see-
actor reenacting the
Oh,
English
that's
teacher.
great. So how much time did it take to put it all together? Because you had to video people, right?
Yes. Well, I actually wrote the
Oh,
first
that's
bit about a
interesting.
year ago, and then I wrote a few incarnations of the one-woman show script, and then we started filming about a month ago. We're almost done with the filming because we are mad women, and putting it all together.
So when you film,
Yeah.
but we're still calling it a one-woman show.
I know, it
because
really
it's all-
isn't. It's really a cast of thousands at this point.
But how singing wrecked my life?
Yeah.
How did it?
And then, well, because what happened is,
Yes.
by being an opera singer in a small town in Minnesota, I was considered very strange and weird. And I'm not blaming the small town. However, I did make some very bad choices with my life outside of singing that led me to damage my voice. And I really did, and you'll get to hear about it in the show, but I really did a number on my voice. And then years later, when I went to rebuild my voice, I started studying opera again to learn how to rebuild the voice properly. And then I was reminded of this divine music and how exciting it is to let it channel through you and to participate in something that, we just get to touch, this beautiful tradition of music. So,
And then it saved your life.
yeah, it did.
And you're so great to come on and be with us today. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And where are we going from here?
So, well, you'll all come over to the Other Space Theater at the Actors Company.
Yes.
And
then what
in
are you going to
June.
do? Will it go somewhere else?
My hope is actually to bring it to a proper theater production either here
Because
or New
these
York.
are like short and fast,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it could go to New York?
And I'll probably, even if I don't do it for sure in New York, although I've performed in New York, so I do have contacts there, I might just do a cabaret-style tour of it to cities where I have existing fans. Austin, Minneapolis, Chicago, Seattle, Portland. I'd love to do that.
Hear that?
That's right.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Don't go away. We have an artist coming on, Donnie Molls. Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome back to the Joan Quinn Profiles. We're here with artist Donnie Molls, who was born in Redwood City and from the age of 7 to 18 was a Golden Globe boxer in San Francisco. He was a carpenter in Idaho, where his life took a turn, and he came into modeling. He has a passion for photography. He's had residencies in the Netherlands, and his work has been seen in galleries and museums across the United States and in Europe. And we have a lot to cover. Because how could a 7 to 18-year-old be Golden Globes? What were you doing?
The Golden Globes? I was a
Golden
box.
Globes.
Yeah.
Golden Globes too. Maybe
Yeah,
you're an
Golden
actor.
Globes.
Are you an actor?
No. I was a boxer as a kid. I started really young. It was a way for me to get out and just do something. I had a lot of, I guess, pent up frustration.
For 7 years old? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But your father had a carpentry or
he had a masonry supply business.
What is that, mason?
So for like bricks and
I
blocks
see.
and cement. And,
But did you work there?
Yeah, I'd work there and help in the summertime, and so I learned about construction.
And then where did you learn to box?
To box at the gym, I would go to the gym. He would drop me off at the gym. He would drop me off at the gym. That was
Really?
after school. He would drop me off at the gym. So as a kid, I really got into it. And then as I got older, I tried other sports. I tried the football. I was no good at it. I sat on the bench. And
this was all up north,
Yeah,
San Francisco area?
Yeah, San Francisco Bay Area, East Bay. So later I started finding myself getting more into it, and I just like the physical, you're in a battle with somebody, and there's this, every day there was a battle. And
Did it take its toll? Did you feel like you were...
No, I mean, yes, I broke my nose, I think 6 times.
Nice nose, though.
Thank you, it's still there. I mean, it's a little crooked.
Nice and
It's
narrow.
a little crooked, but yeah.
You broke your nose a lot of times?
Yeah, 6 times, so, I was bleeding a lot, but I like the physical output of it. I just like to be physical in it.
Are you still like that?
Yeah, I feel like, I still have a fighting instinct in me.
Does it come out in your art?
I think it does. I mean, I think I wrestle with it and I fight with it, and I'm very physical in my work. I like to be physical, and I like the challenge.
So you were working in San Francisco, you were fighting, you were 18, you went to Idaho.
Went to Idaho.
Why?
To get away. I was doing construction, and then, to rest, my father took me fishing. And,
you did?
Yeah, and I just fell in love with this place, and our friends, I met them there. They had a big cabin they were building, and they said, big log cabin, and they said, we'll take care of you and pay you, and come work with us for the summer.
Which you did?
Yeah, it turned into about a year of me living in Idaho, building a log cabin.
But what could you do?
I mean, it was the beauty. I love nature, and I
Commune with
them. And to get out, and I was mountain biking, and I would mountain bike into the mountains, and the rivers were right there.
That's what I was wondering. You were still athletic
I was
because
still athletic.
You came out of this fight situation.
Yeah, so I'd get on my bike and do these 50-mile mountain bike rides that were. Now I look and
then you were discovered.
I went back to San Francisco. I went back to San Francisco and doing the construction and the boxing. I was in really good shape. I was asked to go on an audition and have a picture taken. So I had this little negative. Got a Xerox copy, wrote my name on it, and went to Levi's Plaza.
They just found you? Found you in the street?
Uh-huh.
And Levi is the home. San Francisco's the home,
Levi's.
right?
So Levi's was my first big job.
So they found
booked
you?
me, and I had no idea about modeling. I had no concept of. I mean, I was always artistic, but never had concept of fashion.
Had you gone to college?
No, I didn't go to college.
No college.
I was on my own. At 18, I was in the world alone.
You didn't want to go to school.
I had to work.
You had to work. Okay.
Yeah.
So they take this Polaroid of you. They find you on the street.
Find me on the street.
They do?
Yeah. There was a photographer who goes, I want to, take some pictures of you to do a test, and
I know you can't ever believe those stories.
Yeah, and it did happen. He was a big photographer, and
he was a big.
Yeah. So the next thing, 2 weeks, I have to quit my other job, my masonry job, because I booked Levi's for 2 weeks.
You booked Levi's.
Yeah, and then there's the billboards, and there's billboards.
And then you were on the billboards, and were people going, I can't believe it.
And I never told anybody. I didn't even tell my dad. I didn't tell anybody I was doing it because, I don't know, I just
Who knows
felt,
what it's going to be
who knows
either.
what,
So
it was
Donnie.
new to me.
Donnie?
Yeah, Donnie. So then from there I went to
Italy?
I went to Milan. I lived in Milan for about 6 months.
But who took you to Milan?
Agency.
Oh, then you had an
agency.
agency.
So I got Armani shows and doing all the fashion shows.
Were you doing runway?
Runway.
You were?
Yeah. And between that, I did
think I
Levi's
saw
and
you.
I did Calvin Klein as well. So I booked those two kind of right at the beginning. Jeans was my thing. They liked the rough guy in the jeans. So.
And did you have longer hair?
Shorter hair.
Shorter.
Hair, yeah.
Oh.
So,
well, that's very exciting because that's
so
a great
then from
career.
there it opened up the arts. I mean,
Okay, so you're watching people photograph you.
Yes.
Did you pick up a camera at that point?
Yeah, I started picking up a camera. I was living in Europe. I was fascinated with architecture, coming from a builder.
Oh, right.
So
fantastic.
photography, building.
Then when was the first time you picked up the camera?
I mean, I picked it up when I was in high school. I really was always kind of
a little bit.
Yeah, playing with it.
But in
Europe, I really learned photography and the art of photography.
And what did they teach you? Or did you just learn
I just
on
knew.
your own?
I learned by being in front of the camera, lighting, what it was, listening, you know. And
even
seeing.
runway helped you?
Yeah, runway helped. Just socializing runway. I mean, you get to you see these corporations. I mean, Armani.
Did you love living there?
Yeah, I love living there. So I moved from there to Spain. I spent 2.5 years in Spain, in Barcelona.
Did you speak Spanish?
I learned to speak Spanish while I was there. And from there, it was the arts. I went to every museums,
Spain, right.
The Prado, and
that
Barcelona,
was a
the
big
Miró, and it was the Gaudi buildings. It was all the art.
Barcelona's filled.
Yeah, the Dali, the Picasso.
Right.
So I really got to start to study my art and
So you just taught yourself.
Yeah.
You just went and started learning.
Went
And were you taking photographs all the time?
I was taking photographs.
And what kind of photographs were you taking?
Architecture, people, being in fashion. So friends and people I was around and things, places I was going. And
did you ever think you were going to use it? Did you ever think you were? Did you think you were going to be an artist?
I'd love to be an artist, but I never did really.
Because were you still modeling?
I was still modeling and growing with it all. But there was a painter I always watched paint on the street every day.
Really?
And I was fascinated how fast his technique was. And so I started every day. I'd go to the gym. I'd come back. We'd sit and have a beer, and we'd talk about painting.
You just met him on the street?
Yeah, met him on the street.
So
and the
great.
families became very. His family came over for dinner all the time. We became great friends. And I just started watching his technique.
So tell us exactly, because I thought you were a photographer, but when I see the work, it's totally not photography. It's totally painting.
Yeah. Well, it's a mix of both. It's a hybrid of both. It's taking the old form of photography, which is daguerreotype.
And what do you use?
Silver gelatino bromide oil on canvas.
You do?
Yeah. So it's this long, drawn-out process that they used to do when they would do a glass negative, put the glass negative in.
You do all that stuff?
This process is the same thing as that. But I'm doing it on canvases, I'm doing it on other materials, and then I'm painting it. So a lot of it's in the dark, my painting's in the dark, come out, I paint, I oil paint, I take things away, I'll put things in.
Do you manipulate the negative, or you don't use a negative? Do you use
digital?
I
make negative. Oh, no,
you do?
I have to have a negative.
So do you
manipulate in the dark with my negative.
The negative?
And, so I'm still in the old process of having the negative.
Wow,
and
so you still have to do that all?
Yeah.
In the dark room, but nobody knows what
Yeah.
the dark room is
I know.
anymore, right?
It's a lost form.
Yeah. So what is this work?
So this series is some of it's a little. This piece is a little older. I was getting into architecture here in LA.
Can I hold it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll hold it up.
And it was about how we build multiples here in LA, and this was about it was called Multiple LA. So.
Is this show in the Edward Cella show?
This is more in the Edward Cella show.
Okay.
These two is the new series called 15 Minutes from Fame, and I run 15 minutes away from my house, up in the Hollywood Hills, and I'll take a picture.
Oh, I see. And then
So-
that's your 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
But Edward Cella just moved to a new place on La Cienega.
Yes.
And he's got a show called Unbound.
Unbound.
And this piece will be in it?
This is one of the smaller pieces that I'm working on. There's already work up in it. Yes.
Big pieces.
Big
Okay.
pieces. Big 8 by 10 foot paintings.
Wow. Okay.
So there's
this
like
is,
of course.
So this
These
is,
are intimate. These are more intimate,
I
little
love
small
these.
details.
Very, yeah.
Yeah.
And that one?
This one is the Chemisphere House, which is in the neighborhood, which I love.
So John Lautner.
It's John Lautner.
I love this because when you moved it here, I could see the green.
Okay.
I couldn't see it before.
Yeah, and different light, different angles, things change, different times of day.
So you took this photograph,
took the photograph,
manipulated it. Is this
and then
canvas
oil,
prepared?
yeah, and then it's oil. It's all oil painted on top of there to create my gradient skies.
And this piece in the middle is magnificent.
Thank you. This is some of the newer work now. This is where it's at now. So and it's more about the
like
raw.
tract houses.
Yeah, these are up in the Hollywood Hills and
So do you run a different 15 minutes each
yeah,
way?
each way.
Time?
It could either be to Runyon or I run to down Mulholland. So it's kind of Mulholland Quarter. So I'm running the Mulholland Quarter. Still doing the boxing running.
It is.
So,
So
it's still there. It's all 1.7 miles is what I could do in 15 minutes. So it's I know my distance. 1.7 miles is how far I could go.
And do you photograph the same thing once you get to the same area?
No, I photograph something different.
There's a lot of
different things.
Because I was wondering.
So this is, within 15 minutes of my house.
But I was wondering, like, if the light of day is different, or if things change.
Things change. I try to go, when the light's right, or the
Tell
lights.
how this is, because this is like a sandy surface.
Yeah, this is a little rougher. This
Yeah.
one is, I'm going back to my original process. So this is a full circle for me. This is where it was. This is where it's at now. And this was what I was originally doing, was this rougher surface, kind of a more muted, given a little more
It's more
raw
abstract,
and rough.
right?
Yeah, a little more abstract.
It looks very
So I'm
abstract.
going back to this process now. So I kind of wanted to show a little bit.
So when we say you run, so this will be at Edward Cella, and big paintings.
This will be a bigger painting there.
Unbound.
Yeah.
And when you say you run 15 minutes, you live in the old Sid Croft house. Do people know who Sid Croft is? Tell us.
Sid Croft created H.R. Puffin stuff, Land of the Lost,
He was
Lidsville. He is he's my adopted father and family.
Did you know him?
Oh yeah, he's still alive.
But I mean,
yeah.
do you know?
Oh yeah, no, he is
So how
family.
are you in that house?
I've been up there 20 years. I built the house originally when it fell down during the earthquake. So I moved into the property. It's a big property, so I moved into the property. That's where my studio is.
I thought he did like puppets or.
Yeah, he was a marionette.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he started he started traveling with the circus in 1946.
So you've run this whole circle, and everything comes back to where you were building, and when you were boxing.
Yeah.
So thank
and
you.
Now the art.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The art was in between.
Yeah, the art's in between.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Donnie.
Right.
Thanks for watching. Keep writing to JAQUINN1 at AOL.com.